Hello, everybody. How are y'all? Hey, sister. We are here. We made it to the second episode. This is really cool. Welcome to Real Women, Real Talk, because we are real women. And what?
And real women talk.
And we do. We are so happy to be here with you all. As you heard from our first episode, if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen and watch. We are the Real Women, Real Talk podcast. And my name is Trenace Richardson.
And my name is Shavon Carter.
That's her name over there. And we are sisters, and we are here to have honest, real dialogue about topics impacting women. We are taking this real women experience that we are a part of and extending it out to you all. We want you to experience what real women is all about. And so we're going to tell you a little bit, just a snippet. You got to go back to the first episode to get a whole bunch, but we do want you to know that Real Women is a nonprofit that I started, and we are existing to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. And in those circles, we don't talk about that stuff afterward. What happens in the circle stays in the circle. So we just decided to extend this out to you all. What do you think, Shavon? What are we hoping they leave with? What are we hoping they get?
So we want you to be encouraged. We want you to be inspired. We want you to be entertained because we're funny.
Why not? Everybody needs to laugh a little bit. We want you to just really be enlightened while you're here. Make you smile, make you think. I think we're doing a good job so far, Shavon. I think we got this going.
I think so. Our first episode went really well. So yeah, we're gonna keep the thing going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna keep it going. I'm driving today, and so we're gonna start with our first segment, which is Real Talk. Shavon, Real Talk, girl. What happened this weekend?
OMG. Y'all. Okay, so I think we're still having a hard time putting it into words what happened this weekend, but y'all, we had our Real Women intensive, and it was our 10-year anniversary.
Woo. I don't even know. I still have not put words together to make sentences, to make paragraphs, to figure out how to adequately express both what I experienced and how grateful I am. Y'all got me so good. Oh, y'all got me so good. Not only did we have our regular intensive experience, and we called it our sister circle on steroids, because we spend a whole weekend together just digging into a topic that matters to women. But y'all also celebrated the 10 years and me, and it was incredible. I cried. I don't know if I cried so much.
It was so good. And so I think what was so beautiful to see. So y'all, we have been in existence for 10 years this year. And so usually at our intensive, we'll have sessions, and we do deep soul work and personal development work on ourselves, and we have a little fun. But this year was a little different because we really got to celebrate being here for 10 years. And we got to love on my sister, who is the founder of Real Women and who has been the catalyst for change for so many of us. And so it was just beautiful to be able to celebrate you. Even though I know it made you uncomfortable a little bit, but it was just beautiful that we can love on you the way that you love on us. So it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was a moment, an uncomfortable moment. I will be honest. Yep. It was very uncomfortable to sit still and have people, I want to say, okay, already. Okay. I appreciate it. But it just kept coming and coming. It was like so many creative ways you all found to say thank you. But then I just had to bask in it. I had to sit in it. And allow myself to cry, and allow myself to look at each of you, and allow myself to, to just soak it in, because you don't get that kind of joy that kind of gratitude. You don't get that type of experience often. And so that was one piece for me. But real talk, can I tell you what my second favorite thing was other than just receiving the love? Can I tell you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vaughn spearheaded our first ever sneaker ball. Now listen, wait. So hold on. Hold on. So we have danced at Real Women. We've danced since the first intensive that we have. We have annual intensives. We used to do them twice a year. Now we do them annually. And so we dance every time because we love to dance. We love to have fun. But this is the queen of fun. This is like my sister here with me, Shavon. She lives out loud. And so she was determined to make sure we celebrated in a real way. And so we donned our wonderful, fancy, sparkly attire, and then we put on our kicks. And my goodness, I never left the dance floor. I never left. I just did not want to leave. It was amazing.
And DJ Britt, shout out to DJ Britt, honey. She had song after song. She kept the party going with the music. Oh my goodness. So people that I haven't even seen dancing was dancing on that floor. I was like, y'all better do a two-step. Oh, honey, I had a good time.
Get out here. And decades, like she covered all of the music, like whatever decade is your favorite. We had some seasoned women get up there because she was playing Whitney Houston and I Want to Dance with Somebody. We had a blast. It was amazing. And so y'all, if you we want you to come to our sister circles. If you are in the area with them, we want to bring our sister circles to you. When you hear about our intensives coming up, won't you just trust us? Just trust us and come. It's amazing. Amazing. Come see. Yes, come see. Real talk. And anything else? What was your favorite? Was that your highlight too? I would bet, but you can.
That has to be the highlight. It was so fun. Just the dance. We cut up. I saw the video now. If y'all are on Facebook or Instagram or social media, you'll see some of the snippets from the weekend. And just to look at that video, I was cutting up like that.
You were the queen of cutting up to lead all of us into the cut up. I'm telling you, it was wonderful.
It was fun. I was so tired after that. Oh man, but it was good. Yeah, that was definitely.
I want to dance some more after that. I think to be very honest with you, I was in a bit of a deficit as it related to fun and joy. And because I just been working and grinding so much that I needed that. Like, I didn't even know how much I needed it. Once my body got it, it was like, oh, we doing this. We doing all of this until we got to stop. It was wonderful.
So I want to say one thing about that, because the whole weekend, it seemed like each of the facilitators tapped into the importance of leaning into joy. And so just to hear you say that, like you needed that, like it was an opportunity for you to lean into joy during the sneaker ball and during the celebration. So it was just beautiful that you gave yourself permission to do that, because we don't do it enough.
We do not. And gave myself permission, like literally just said, let's do this.
Let's do it.
And we don't do it enough. Yeah. Okay, so y'all get it. Keep going on our social media pages to get snippets, because it was something to behold. I knew this was going to be a part of our real talk, because it had to be, because it was, But I did have one more real talk, because I've been having some moments. And
real talk. What's up?
I wanted to see if you've been having some moments. So y'all, this is real talk segment. So we in safe space. This is an extension of Sister Circle, so y'all don't judge me. So is there something, Shavon, that you can't do anymore at your current big age? I don't know, that you used to be able to do anything. Also, I'm gonna tell you mine, but is there anything? Are we in there together at all with anything? Okay.
At my big age of 45.
Okay.
It's really hard for me to go the whole day without wanting to take a nap. Like I'm in naps. Like when we had the intensive this weekend
Mm-hmm.
and we partied all night, I couldn't go out some more after that.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to lay down because I couldn't have a nap
No,
during
listen.
the
At one point, we was like, Shavon, you going? And you was like, mm-mm.
day. No, I need to sit down. Like it's a lot going on. I had a good time and I need to go to sleep. I'm tired.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I used to be able to go, all night long, just up partying, go from one party to the next, hang out, stay up. I didn't need to go to sleep.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
naps are amazing. I know,
Yeah.
shout out to the woman who has the brand Nap Ministry, because it
Nap
really is.
ministry.
It
Yeah.
really is a ministry. Okay,
Mm.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that.
Okay.
And we would love to hear from y'all in the comments, but let me just explain my little moment right now. So, um, so I have honestly had, like, without any enhancements, I have had the munchies, and so nothing to help me have the munchies. I've just been having the munchies
Okay.
and just sweets and just wanting to eat what I want to eat, just having a taste for what
Mhm.
I want to eat. And let me tell you, doggone, that them pounds just don't come out the way they used to be. They don't come off the way they used to come off. And I'm a little ticked off about it. I just wanted
Right.
to let it out.
Right. Because why you want to get here and then where it goes, you don't get to choose where the pounds
Listen,
go.
listen. You could go up in the up in the upper perimeter if you wanted
Right.
to. You could
Right.
even go into the lower perimeter if you wanted to,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
Well, why you
Right.
gonna stay right here in the middle? Why you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
Disrespectful. Mm-mm. No.
Disrespectful. So that's what I've been dealing with my current age, just knowing that I have to step up my game as it
Yeah.
relates to movement. And I love movement. I love to sweat. I just noticed that I can't do the same level of movement that I
Mhm.
used to do and still munch and snack the same level. Like I gotta just kind of
Right.
balance.
Right. You know what that makes me think of? So I
What?
started working out like 2 months
Mhm.
ago. I feel so proud of myself for working out, right? And I started to see like two abs right here, just at the
Oh,
top,
that's
right?
so exciting. Uh-huh.
But then some days go by. Maybe I had a little fried chicken, little
Just a
French
little.
fries, a little something,
Mhm.
but I didn't think it was gonna impact me the way that
Child.
it has. So it's starting to disappear. Like, where my little abs?
Girl,
What
that chicken
happened?
wing said, "Move over, Ab. I'm coming through."
So powerful. Like, what happened? I'm like, this ain't the same stomach I was looking at a couple of weeks ago. So I understand. I get
Yeah.
it. Mm-mm.
But it used to be, I look at my baby girl, who is not a baby girl, she in her 20s, but I look at
Yeah.
her and I'm like, girl, I remember when I could eat whatever I wanted and it wouldn't change nothing. It wouldn't
Yeah.
change nothing. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I've been going through. That's real talk, real talk. And I'm excited because one of our Real Women sisters, she's helping me commit to a workout strength training exercise
Okay.
routine. And I got some things at home. So when I come back,
Mhm.
before my big, and I don't mind saying it, I'm 49. So I
Mhm.
got about, at the time of this taping, about 9 months to come
Mm.
out and be 50 and fabulous. Like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
show it off. Yes. So
Mm.
that's
Mm.
my goal. That's
Okay.
my goal.
Yeah.
That was real talk. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for indulging me. I needed that.
I got
So
you. I feel you.
so we moved from, in our first segment, real talk. Our second segment is called Deep Dive. And we just
Yeah.
kind of jump off the diving board and just go
Mm.
ahead deep into the water. And typically it's a topic that we have covered in our Real Women Sister Circles at some point. And we want to expound on those and just lift them up for a little bit with you all, because again, we don't record our sister circles. So we want to give you a sneak peek. And
Mhm.
so I remember one of our facilitators recently covered the comparison trap, Shavon.
Yep.
Let's just let that breathe for a second
Mm.
because
Mm.
because
Mm. It's real. Now that's real. That
that's
happened.
real. Now that's real. That's a deep dive. And I guess I'm wondering, do you find yourself comparing yourself to others? I know there's some people who may not have that as an issue, but I'm wondering, do
Yeah.
you?
To be honest, that has always been my issue. The way
Right.
I'm wired, I am a criteria person. So I'm an auditor by trade, by day. And so we're always looking for a criteria to compare things to. So
Wow.
naturally, I'm wired to do that. Like, this is the standard, and we need to see if you're measuring up to this standard. So I do that subconsciously. Like, I don't even always realize I'm doing it. And then
Wow.
in this world, in this age of social media, it's just so automatic, like scrolling, scrolling. And I have to really be careful how much time I spend on social media, because
Mhm.
things are being deposited and I don't realize it until it's like I start to feel down or blue about something. And then when I really explore, it's because, oh, you think you should have this because that's the image that you saw on social media. So yeah,
Wow.
I absolutely do compare myself. Yep.
Child,
Yep.
I so relate to that. And
Mhm.
social media, man, it is a blessing. And I remember when the transition happened with social media, where we all thought that we had to use our newsletters or we had to
Yeah.
pay somebody to advertise. You know, it was always money behind your advertising. So when this social media wave came, we were like, oh my God, free advertising. We'll be able to
Exactly.
reach anybody and everybody. So,
Yep.
so I personally used it just as much for professional reasons as I have for personal reasons. But you see the same stuff regardless of why you're there.
Yep.
So it's like,
So
so
much to see.
so much to see. And so I agree with you. Like it's doubly, I think the more you got going on, the more there is to compare. So
Yep.
professionally, I'm looking at people who have this or have this going on or that going on, and they got invited here to speak and they got invited
Mhm.
here to sing. That's the professional side of things. And then personally, I'm finding somebody, you talking about your 2 abs. I got half an ab on each side, and somebody got 8 abs, got an 8 pack, not a 6 pack.
Ooh.
Like, just it's so rough and tough in these social media streets. And that's just
Mhm.
if you decide to open up your computer or turn your phone on.
Mhm.
That doesn't even account for what you see around you, you know, and what you choose to look at around you. So it's real. It's real for me.
It's real.
And I think what some people assume is just because they have the issue and they see
Mhm.
you accomplished in any area of your life. If
Yep.
you look a certain way, you've achieved certain things, they think your comparison trap or your comparison game is not the same as theirs. You can't
Sure.
be comparing yourself to a whole bunch of people. But
It
yeah.
happens. It happens so automatically. And in one area that I know I do it, and I've really been trying to be intentional about just reprogramming my mind, is relationships. So
Mm,
when it comes to relationships, my I pull all kind of images to create this perfect picture of what a relationship should look like, especially
wow.
with me growing up not having like that healthy image. And maybe
Mhm.
people do it when they have a healthy image because they're trying to emulate, their parents. But for me, I didn't have any real examples. And so I pulled from movies, I pulled from books, I pulled from
Yeah.
all of these spaces. And then it's like, okay, well, this is what it's supposed to look like,
Mm.
And it's like that's not reality. So I've been trying to unlearn these programming from these different sources of what a relationship should look like, and really understand that there is no perfect picture of it. It just is what it
Mhm.
is. You create it for yourself with your partner. And so that is really a
Yeah.
major that I've noticed.
Yeah, I just want to say something because you just made me think about the fact that, we are sisters, you are single, I am married.
Mhm,
And even with whether you are single status or married status, you
mhm.
can tend to look over the fence at somebody else's relationship. Or
Yeah.
it's so funny. If you're married, you look over the single fence and be like, "Ooh, I
Right.
wish when I remember when I was." If you single,
Exactly.
some people look over the fence and be like, I can't wait till I do that or do that again
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And so that's so real and so easy to do. So I
Mhm.
guess I'm wondering, for you, just give you a moment to think about it. I'm trying to think about how we work through it, how I work through it, how you work through it. I'm because we
Yeah.
can't stay in that space,
Right.
not a
Right.
space that you can live in and be happy and fulfilled and really
Yeah.
enjoy what is going on in your
Mhm.
life. So
Yeah.
how do you work on it or manage it?
I would say for me, one is self-awareness. So the work that we do in Real Women and going to therapy, I've gotten in touch with myself and being aware of who I am and when my mood shift. So when I
Mm,
feel myself feeling down or just feeling low energy, that's an indicator for me like, okay, what's going on? Something is happening right now.
mhm,
Because usually it's something that I've seen or heard or something. So I know that about myself. So it's the self-awareness, identifying that, hey, your mood is shifted, and
yeah,
then exploring like, okay, what's going on? And then usually that's when, in journaling, I'll write down and then it'll come out that, oh, you've been comparing yourself, or oh, you're having these thoughts that's connected to something you saw or something someone said, and you are creating this narrative that you should be doing the same thing.
right,
Excuse me.
right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I love those, and I know I've done some of what you just shared. I
Mhm.
have a couple that came to mind for me, and hopefully something we're sharing is helping a sister or a brother who's listening. And y'all, we would love to hear from you in the comments, or just reach out to us and let us know also through our realwomenrock.org website. But for me, I think turning off certain things on social media. So I shared
Mm.
with you and a few of my sisters that I'm working my way to doing social media less and less, period.
Yep.
But while I'm here, I pay attention to what triggers me. And
Yes.
so if I'm not able, and this is just real talk, deep dive, if
Yep.
I'm not able to be happy for the person I'm looking at, if I'm frowning, if
Mm.
I'm, jelly all on my face,
Yeah.
if I have some feelings going on, I need to mute or unfollow for a while to get myself together.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
so I have done that. I have muted or unfollowed certain
Mhm.
people or businesses because
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with them, everything to do with me, that I need to focus here
Yeah.
and not look over the fence. And so that's one
Mhm.
big one for me. And
Yeah.
then I really do have to remind myself how unique I am,
Yeah.
how different I am, that
Mhm.
even if this person has this thing going on, they
Mhm.
can't have what I'm going on the same
Yeah.
way that I have it going
Mhm.
on, because that's just mine. It's my
Mhm.
imprint. And
Yep.
so I have to remind myself just how unique I am. There's a niche, there's a
Mhm.
niche, there's a place, a corner that's made for me.
Yeah.
And the more I focus on that corner, I hone that corner, I perfect what I'm doing in that corner and master it and become, I know me, I know what I do well, and celebrate that and focus there. I don't think there's anybody that can touch that, And so then it becomes less about comparing and more about focusing on me. What were you gonna
Yeah.
say?
And that's what it made me think of. When I am not focusing on me as much and I am more focused on what other people are doing, then that's when
Ooh.
it shows up the most for me. And so
Oh,
it's an
that's so
indicator
good.
like, hey, you need to pay attention what's going on in your own life and not looking so much on social media or what's going on, in this person's life. So that's when I know that I'm out of alignment with myself, because I'm so focused on what's going on over there and not over here. So yeah.
You just said a word. You just said a
Mhm.
word. When I am in the comparison trap, I'm
Yep.
not focused on me. That is
Yeah.
so good. So
Mhm.
good. Woo,
Yep.
child, that was a deep dive. That was,
We go
we,
in, honey.
we went in some places. All right, so
Yeah.
come up out of there for just a second. I love this third segment because it allows us both the opportunity to talk about something that we may have heard or seen that's going on currently, maybe something that's trending or something that we've just heard about, a scenario that you've read about, because you are the master of those as the You relationship coach. But then we are able to spin that, and instead of talking about, ooh, look what she did, or look what he said, and that kind of thing, we put ourselves in their shoes. And so this is literally called Put Myself in Her Shoes.
Yeah.
And we give ourselves the opportunity to talk about something, but with empathy, and to share how we would handle, what we would do, what we would say, were we in that state. So I think you came with a really good one today. So you want to share a little bit?
Yeah. So this clip had been going around a couple of weeks about Tyler Perry. So he was on a podcast and he was talking about, it ventured into a whole lot of conversation, but it ventured into a conversation about dating. So he made a statement that Black women are making more money than Black men. And if you can find love with a man who is good to you and honors you and does what he can, that is okay. That's not somebody who is beneath you. That's somebody who came to love you at your worth. That love, support, I got you, babe, is a beautiful thing. So that sparks so much conversation from women saying, why they always telling Black women to settle, and just all of these things. So then the question becomes, in today's culture, dating culture, what is the perspective on finances being a requirement for love?
Wow. So letting that sink in, I'm sure a lot of us have seen or heard about that quote, that viral segment from Tyler Perry. I guess for me, and I can only speak from my perspective, right? So putting myself in the status of women who are dating right now, if I were to put myself in her shoes, and I was in her shoes, right? It was just 24 years ago, but I was in her shoes. And I do have to be sensitive to that 24 years ago was a long time ago. And I'm not in the, they say the dating pool's got pee in it, all of that craziness, right? So I'm not in that pool right now, trying to figure things out. But I can be honest from my perspective and say, when I met while dating a good man, it really did not matter to me how many coins were in his pocket. It mattered to me more that he had a plan, and that he was pursuing a plan, and that he wasn't hating on my plan. And smoldering my fire, right? So if he was supportive of me, and he had plans and dreams and goals that he was actively pursuing, it did not matter to me who was making more money. And that's, even though things were much more even than that when I got married. Greg and I, in fact, I'll be honest, I was in school. Even though I was accomplished, I was in school when I met him. So I was fully in school. So Greg took care of me for a while. But we've had, ups and downs related to finances. Everybody does. And I know the mindset that I was in before, I believe would also be the mindset for me right now. For someone dating, I would encourage them, if it were me, putting myself in her shoes, that it's much more important that you have a good person, because that's potential. And I don't believe that you just settle for potential. I believe that a potential can be attractive, and then you all grow together. I don't see anything wrong with that. What do you think?
Yeah. So putting myself in her shoes, I've been on both sides. So in the beginning, when I first got out of college and started my career, I bought into, I don't know where the messaging came from, everywhere. Like I said, I pull stuff from everywhere. So the message for me and the thought process was, I need a man who looked good on paper. College degree, he got good money, he got his own place. And I found that, and it was cool. And then I realized there was more that is involved in a relationship to maintain it, because that relationship didn't work out. It looked good. He looked good on paper, but together we just didn't go. And so I and this was somebody who, like I said, was accomplishing those kind of things by society standards. And
Mm-hmm.
then I found myself dating blue collar guys, and I that's more of my jam. And I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking about that, like why is that my jam? And it may be because I grew up with my mother's first husband was a blue collar worker, and that's all I was, exposed to. So I
Mm-hmm.
like a man who can work hard, take care of himself, and just be a good provider for himself and just good to me. So I
Yeah.
started to, as I went through dating, I started to realize that a man's character is
Talk.
more important than anything.
Talk.
Like, money is fine, that's great, but if he can take care of himself, that's what's
Mm-hmm.
most important. How he spends his money, how he handles the money that he does have,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's more important to me. So I've been on both sides and I understand both sides, but where I land today and the relationship that I am in, I just appreciate his character and who
Yeah.
he is as a man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I put a
Mhm.
spin on it a little bit?
Yeah.
So I have a daughter in her 20s dating now, and you have godchildren who
Mhm.
are growing up and have to experience this dating culture and this dating pool with pee in it and all that. I think that is hilarious to me. And so 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 does it change for us at all when now we have to advise and consult and support the young ladies in our lives? Does our messaging change at all? I'm curious. Or does
I
it stay the
don't
same?
think it does for me because I am all about how is he treating you?
Mhm.
How is he making you feel? What is his character like? Like, what with what he does have, what does he do with it?
Yeah.
That's what's most important and what I've seen over my years. So that's still the message that I think I would tell, to the
Mhm.
young women. Money is great, education is great, but what is it that you're trying to get from it? What are you thinking that will offer you?
Yeah.
What's the end game with that? Him making six figures means what for you? Like,
Mhm.
what are you saying that means? So
Yeah.
that's more the deeper question. So I think my messaging will still be the same
Yeah.
as it
Yeah.
relates to that.
I think mine would be too. I would probably do just out of the protective mothering, and I have done this out of
Mhm.
protective mothering. I ask more specific questions than
Mhm.
maybe, once I'm all in my feelings. When I was dating myself, I probably didn't vet and ask as many
Okay.
questions as I
Yeah,
as I would
exactly.
like does he have any kids, and
Right.
just so that you get the full picture of what you're getting into. And his
Mhm.
financial status is affected by all of the things, like not just does he
Yeah.
have a job, but
Mhm.
does he pay child support, all those kinds of things. So I think
Mhm.
it's important to get a picture of what you're getting into, just so you
Mhm.
don't go into something blind and be like, well, I don't care what he has going on. Well,
Right.
his credit score might be piss poor and y'all can't do anything together unless it's in your name. Those kinds of things you
Mhm.
need to know. And
Yeah.
I think it's an and,
Mhm.
not a but, that if he's a good person, if he's a good
Yeah.
person and treats you well and has a
Mhm.
plan for you all to grow together, then that
Mhm.
means everything, because he could be the most accomplished and the most
Yeah.
educated and have the most amount in the bank and treat you like ish. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Right.
you need to make sure that he is willing to take care of your heart, and that he's
Mhm.
willing to participate in taking
Mhm.
care of your house.
Exactly. Exactly. That is participate. Yes,
Yeah,
that's very important. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so good. I love that it generated a lot of conversation. I guess
Right.
my final thought about it is, we tend to care about the surface things much more
Yeah.
initially than we care about the things that end up mattering the most at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so hopefully it prompted us to think a little deeper about relationships and what we really should be thinking about or want.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, because there's so much more to that, and I get it. I understand the desire to want to feel protected and secure, and just know that things are going to work out, even though you can't plan for any of it. But I understand the desire for it. It's just there's so much more to relationships than just the financial. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, shout out to you, Tyler Perry, for coming up with something that just got us going.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, that was put myself in her shoes. And
Mhm.
then this is episode 2. We closing. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
We
Man,
just had a nice old time. So, you all, this is our final segment, and it is called Spiritual Nuggets. And we just take an opportunity to share a closing thought with you. We are so many things within and of ourselves. We are this and that. We are
yeah.
holistic beings. And so we help women take care of their heart, their mind, their soul, their body, and their spirit. And so this spiritual nugget kind of leads me from where we were talking. It leads me to talking about depth and
Mm,
how many of us tend to live, lead, and work on the surface. And
mm,
I would just encourage us in every area of our lives to take a deeper dive.
mm,
That whatever, in any scenario, whether you are dealing with someone in a relationship, a romantic one, a family relationship, a working relationship, that you would not only desire the conversation or the interaction, but that you would take a deeper look, be empathetic to where that person is coming from, their perspective.
mm,
I think a lot of what we're dealing with in society right now is that we are looking at the surface, what color someone is, what age they are, how much they weigh, how much they make. We're looking at very surface things. And were we to take a look under the surface, we would
mm,
see how much more we have in common. And it would really quell some of the socioeconomic and racial and cultural divides that we have going on. And so that's just, on that end of things. But even in our own lives, when we are dealing with issues and circumstances that are hard for us, money issues, um, mental, emotional things going on with us that we don't understand. Perhaps, just perhaps, if we take a look under the surface of what's actually happening, what's going on, what is it there to teach us? What is it there to show us? What gift lies under the rough terrain that we might be able to get something from? And maybe the answer in the moment is, I don't know. I'm not getting anything but hardship out of this.
right.
But to keep our eyes open and our hearts open to more than just what we see, that
Mm,
we would open our eyes to what we do not see,
mm.
that we would
That's
open
so
our ears to what is not audible, and that we would open our hearts to what may not be tangible but could be felt and discerned. I believe that if we take a deeper dive, we might get a lot further. That's my
yeah.
spiritual nugget.
That is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. This was good. I like that we end up
Mhm.
exhaling at the
Right.
end.
Just like it's nothing else to say after that. Just like, Stella.
Ah, that's good. That's good. Well, I am a yogi, so I'm hoping to help you breathe deeper. So
Mhm.
I enjoyed you, sister.
Enjoyed you, sister. This was so good. Such good conversation today. I hope y'all got something out of it because I did. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a pleasure doing this with y'all. And thank
Yeah.
you for sticking around and listening. Check us out on all the social media platforms for Real Women Rock, and go to our website at realwomenrock.org. Check out all of our events and our sister circles. We would love to interact with you. Peace.
Yes. Yes. Till next time.
We are real
Peace.
women and
And
real.
real men talk.
Bye, girl.
Bye.